It's going to be a quick list of top features when we're comparing Sheets to Excel. So if you are coming from a Microsoft Excel environment and you are new to Google Sheets, this could provide you a quick overview of some of the functionality that you can expect in Sheets that is going to be similar to what you had within Microsoft Excel. So one of them is the collaboration in real time. So with Google Sheets, you do have the ability to share your content. So I've actually shared it to my other Google account. I've provided full edit permissions. And once those permissions are provided, and only once those permissions are provided, and you are logged into your other account, which I am at this point, I'm able to access the document. So it tells me that I've logged into my other account, and this is what makes collaboration in real time really easy with Google Sheets. And I can see the collaborators that are currently available. So if I flip over to the other tab, I can see that that other account is the collaborator. So it will automatically assign colors and let you know who else is viewing and interacting with the content at that same time. I can also see where that person is. So right now I see that the original account with aqua color is sitting on A1 and I'm sitting on E1. So if I go over to the other account, I see that the cell that is selected is in fact A1. I can select multiple cells and that will indicate to the others that are collaborating who's interacting with that content. And then you can also see which cells that other person is interacting with, as that is going to be highlighted within your version as well. To share and have access to the sheet, then you can share that easily with just the click of the button and then selecting their user account. The other nice thing about Google Sheets is that it automatically saves to Drive, much as what you'd expect with Microsoft Excel, where it'd be sharing using SharePoint or OneDrive. And when you go to the document status, which is this cloud here at the top, you can see that this document, so that all changes saved to Drive. And this is also where you can find that this document, if we've set it up for offline use, that we've enabled it or disabled it. So this will give you a quick overview of when it's being saved. And you can also see in the version history the different saves that are automatically done to Drive. And then you can, within the document, go to any one of those versions and open them up. And that's another nice feature about Sheets that's consistent with what Excel has, is where you can manage the version history. So there's several ways to access that, and one of them is to go down to the File tab, and then under Version History, you can see the version history, or you can use the shortcuts in order to do so. There's another option, just as you would expect with Excel, where you can add formulas and use the autocomplete and suggestions. So Google Sheets has this as well. So they do have a formula tab here. So if you had several cells, and if you want to get a total from those cells, you can select the cells and add in a formula. And this can be done using the equal sign, then the keyword that you want to use. So in this case, I want to apply a sum. So it'll ask me to select the first value, and I can either enter in a value or select it from the cells of the spreadsheet. And in order to select it from the cells of the spreadsheet, it will automatically populate that in. And then I can add in a second value. And then once I've completed the formula, then I can close off the brackets and I can press enter, and that's going to automatically populate that content. And we also see that we've got the autofill, so the suggested autofill, and this is a feature within Sheets that will try to anticipate what you want in the following cells. And here it's suggesting that I might want to add this autofill formula into the remaining cells as a continuation of the sum that I've already got here. So it's suggesting that I use the sum, and I can see the formula that it's making the suggestion. So it's suggesting E5 plus E6, and that would be resulting that sum. So I can apply it and click yes, and I can see that it's automatically suggesting to take the 2 rows values, and then on the third row provide the sum, and it's done that for all of the remaining cells, and this was automatically suggested. So it does have a really smart tool feature that is similar to what you get with the formula autocomplete and suggestions. You also have an option to record macros, and that's under extensions. So if you select extensions macro, you can select to record a macro. And right now what it's doing is it is recording the macro. So the macro is a series of steps that you're using. So right now it's going to be recording all of the actions that I'm taking within the spreadsheet. And then select those and bold those values. I can save that as a macro and also provide an optional shortcut for that macro. So let's go ahead and we'll save that macro. And we can also select to edit the script, and that will open up the Google Apps Script Editor, and it will provide details about what we did within the macro. So we also have an option under the extensions and macros. We're going to have that test macro now set. So if I ever wanted to run the macro, and the script does need authorization to continue, so let's do a quick authorization for the macro to run. And I am going to be running through this in more detail later on. So if I was to erase this and run the test macro, it will automatically run through the same steps that I did within the macro. And this is also something that you probably are familiar with from Excel and using VB script, whereas in this case, we're going to be using Google script to accomplish the set of automating that set of actions that we just recorded. There's also an option to create filters, and that's just under data. So just as you would have for Excel, you can select and create filters, and you do have an option for filters for everyone or filters for me. And what filters will do is they're going to give you a quick view of the data and the selection of the data within the filter. And it'll give you a quick pop-up tip here for more information about the filters. And we see what the filter is. By selecting the cog wheel on the right-hand side within the filter, just to the right of the range, we can reselect a different range. And as you can see, that currently the range is going to be from F2 to H2. So in order to make a selection, I have to hit the cog wheel to update the range. So for instance, if I want to update the filter, I can rename it, I can update the range, duplicate, and delete it. And I'm going to be providing more details about filters, but for now, if you do need to access that filter again, you can select under Data and Filter Views, and that's where you're going to have the filter that you just created. We can create pivot tables manually or automatically, and that's just under Insert, where you can select a pivot table, which can be inserted into a new sheet or into the existing sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and create it as a new sheet. And then this is the setup for the pivot table that we're going to run through in the upcoming lessons. You can also create charts manually or automatically. So that's under Insert Chart. And it will automatically try to generate the chart. And it gives you the chart editor so that you can customize the chart as needed. And also then you could insert the chart within your document where it's needed and where you want to apply that chart. And this is all really made easy using the Google Sheets. Most of what you do commonly within Excel is also available within Google Sheets, and the common functionality that you've grown to expect with the spreadsheet applications is all going to be available within Google Sheets. And we're going to be covering that in the upcoming lessons.